Liquid, and even for the close qualifier, like Wildcard did play on this. And I mean, the thing is that was even a 13-9 victory that went for Liquid, but that was pretty impressive to see Wildcard again making a pretty decent scoreline. I mean, even their T side, they only were able to get 4 rounds, but when they switched things over onto the CT side, they were able to get themselves some pretty decent rounds. So I feel like that's going to be the moneymaker here for the certain final.
All right, let's go. Jumping into it, M80 winning the knife round. They are the ones choosing sides, and of course, they're going to choose CT side on Ancient, the favorite side. We jump into things. Wildcard couldn't close out the 2-0 after getting that first map. And now, well, we're on to map number 3 and M80. It feels like the longer this series went on, the more maps we got, the bigger the advantage would be for the M80 squad. So they have to be feeling pretty good right now. slaxz and reck are pushing up aggressively through A main. This is so much information gained. The problem is, if Wildcard quickly go donut, then they're in a lot of trouble.
And I mean, Wildcard, actually, they're just going to go into mid-house here, so they're just going to try to split this right down the middle. And I mean, that A site is yapped a little bit, but look at this flank. This is nice. slaxz is able to find 2, make it 3. Why not? slaxz is trying to see what else he can do, but they both fall infinite with a nice little bit of a cleanup. But this is a little worse for wear. A nice little 1-2 connect here with the dualies. We haven't seen that yet at all, John. And all of a sudden, with a minute remaining, it's just JBA by himself with a P250 and a dream of a 1-on-3.
Yeah, honestly, JBA is going to go out here and maybe have the engagement with Mobs. He does, and Mobs is not going to miss that. Nice little headshot, little bit of PM at it again. 1-0 in favor of M80. I love that pistol round strat from M80, right? You go immediately for the push into A main. If you go down, at least you have the possibility of a trade because there are 2 players pushing up. If you don't, and there's no one there, you have the possibility of a flank coming through into mid, and that's exactly what happens. There's of course that moment of exposure where if Wildcard decides to push in either through mid house or in through A main, or excuse me, in through donut into the site, then you're completely you got a problem on your hands. But Wildcard took their time, and of course slaxz is able to capitalize with 3 perfect shots. That's going to do it for that pistol round. But jumping into things here, reck is going to get the opening headshot onto Infinite. slaxz finds another one, although overstays his welcome a little bit, and Sonic manages to get that frag.
Yeah, that's a little greasy, and something, again, not causing a huge effect yet, but let's hope it doesn't kind of bite them back. I mean, an MP9 is gained, but again, there's no armor, so the aim punch is going to be absolutely real. But instead, Stanislaw, the IGL, he's just going to walk through a smoke. He's just going to see what happens, and yeah, fell to his demise. And now the last 2 remaining players swing on elbow. Okay, but it's a quick cleanup. Losing 2, though, from M80. Rifles maybe to get retrieved. Oh, okay. That rifle unfortunately doesn't.
Yeah, reck was probably going to try and get the A1S, but he was too late. He was too far. They tried to shoot it towards him. It doesn't work. It's okay. Not ideal. Swisher, is someone going to drop him, or is he just going to buy? It looks like he's just going to buy an MP9 with full util. That's okay as well. But Wildcard have the AKs now. Okay.
Not bad. Well, we'll see what they're going to do. The mid control coming in, the nades getting thrown here. Manx does actually switch things up towards donut, but a double player back into A main like this. They did it before. They're going to do it again. I actually really like this because, again, it's a lot of information. But even if someone comes for this, they have to clear 2, and that should be the trade. That's where M80 should be able to find this. Wildcard, they're actually going to be able to get that mid control for those, and they do take down slaxz, and unfortunately, that's where, again, that little bit of a blip in timing kind of went against M80.
reck also pushing up at an inopportune time. Sonic finds an easy frag and doesn't take much damage as a result. A site taken. M80 are trying to restore balance here by retaking it, but given the money situation, they might just completely pull the plug, even though the bomb hasn't been planted yet, because they have no control either of donut, in mid, or anywhere near the A site. In fact, Stanislaw's waiting over at lane, the top of mid. I mean, this is just, there's no chance for M80. They realized it quickly.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like a round like this, where they have the 2 rounds into the advantage and quite a decent investment, right? Like we're talking head armor with those rifles and some utility. This made a lot of sense, and it's a difficult site to retake on Ancient. Like the A site is not easy. You need to have a lot of good positioning, but they didn't have it. They already lost their players early on. So I like this call. It's really quick. Like you said, they kind of pulled the plug immediately, but they had to. They realized they had nothing, and it's just too costly to go for it.
So an excellent first round to find for Wildcard, not a single casualty. Everyone keeps their AKs in full body armor. Might be a little light on body armor on some players, but not enough to justify a reinvestment into it. And that means they get full util and their economy is exceptionally comfortable. Over on the other side, M80 with the 3-man save, also in a pretty good spot. They're able to get another A4 and an MP9 around it and full util. So an important round coming through for M80. I would say more so for M80 than Wildcard because they're the ones whose economy is really not in good shape. Flashbang going to come out here for Wildcard, potentially pushing out into mid, and mid is free and clear for the taking right now. A nade sails out from Jaguar, and then a smoke as well to try and deny M80, I should say Wildcard, a little bit of space, but I think JBA is going to push through it, or he's thinking about it anyway.
Yeah, he's definitely debating it, but I mean, look at how much mid has given up, though, too. I mean, there is the player of Manx, again, just in Donut, just going for the spot, but now this double swing coming in from Swisher and Mulbs. This is nice. Again, just getting information. Now they're going to press on through, but JBA should be able to hear this. They need to get their guns out. This could be really scary. Oh, but Mulbs, look at that. Does get the timing of one, but a good trade back from Wildcard. I don't know if they would have spotted Swisher yet. He's in a bit of a crux spot, but oh my goodness, slaxz is able to find that too in the corner of the smoke. Just steals that away. And now this thing's just becoming a brawl once again here, John. This is where it gets a little bit scary. JBA throws a great nade. Look at that damage.
I'm surprised Wildcard doesn't have the edge here. But, I mean, look, slaxz was big, and then he's even bigger there on that final engagement. 2 frags came out that, honestly, I thought he would get traded on. He doesn't, and he caps it off with a 3K. M80 right back on the board. Wildcard unable to do much. But as I mentioned before, the money was still good for Wildcard, even with the buy-up they had in that previous round. So they're going to bring AKs all across the board once more. And M80, they lost a lot of bodies. The money hasn't gotten healthy on the CT side, which is the biggest concern.
Yeah, this, I mean, for, you know, again, for Wildcard, I mean, despite them losing rounds, I mean, this is good in terms of the economy. They're really making this expensive, like you said. That's such a good thing to note here, though, because as soon as M80 lose a round, like, this could be a double save within minutes.
Swisher. Just looking around Jaguar. Trying to see if there's anything that he can do here in the early round, and then falls back completely. So M80 playing very passively right now, but it feels like they want to try and go for some aggressive mid control. slaxz creeping up through red room. There we go. 4 players out, but it was being waited for on the other side. Sonic gets one. Trade comes through again from slaxz. He's doing so much work from mid-house, and Mulb supports now. slaxz again strikes for a third for his squad. Finally a response here from Wildcard, but it's still the man advantage for M80. Good news for Wildcard, they pick the right site. B, relatively empty. There is Swisher there with the MP9 on the back lines, but he's probably going to have to give up the bomb plant.
Yeah, and they're going to go for a different plant position too, not just behind the pillar like normal. Instead, it's going to keep it open, and that's perfect for Infinite because now they got a good lineup on this with Cave. But it is the 3-on-2, still the advantage for M80. They're all going to group up together on this. They're not going to have anybody, you know, going on their own. So they have the trade potential here. Good smoke that's going to go on to B ramp. This is going to block off Stan. So now they've isolated him for the time being. So now they can just put all their attention into Infinite right now. They got an inkling. That molly goes a bit deep and doesn't actually land, or a bit shallow, I should say. And now Stan's making a lot of noise. Infinite becoming the problem child now. Able to find that first. Looking to see for more, maybe? And he's going to be able to get the job done. And Wildcard, they take this round away.
Infinite realizing his fate was sealed at the end of that round, just throwing his gun to the air. But that was wonderful from Wildcard. But a mistake from M80. The Molotov falls short. You have to throw it deep enough so that you make sure that player that could be hiding around the corner doesn't have a chance to do exactly what he did. Infinite, clear sight lines, no smoke in his way, and was able to ensure that the bomb diffuser dropped, the second player as well. And then, yeah, there was someone left, but they were too busy trying to make sure that the flank was covered, and that was it.
Yeah, I think the Molotov is, again, the device here for M80. It's just the fact that it didn't go all a little bit deeper, that could have changed things because Infinite would have had to swing. He didn't really have much to work with, but yeah, that just allowed him that micro detail that we talked about, right? That was what we mentioned in the first map, and here we are again kind of bringing that part up. But M80 had a right idea, just fell a little bit short, but we do see them call that timeout, which I think is perfect because look at the scoreline.
Now, it's a good timeout to call, given it's still a very close game here in the first 6 rounds of map number 3, but that was their round. I mean, they played it right. They had the idea, like you said, to throw that Molotov in towards Cave and then watch the flank. They got the flank player, but the Cave player was the one who did all the damage. It just, little details that they have to work out as they move forward here. Anyway, this is far from over. M80 still have a lead, but they only have 4 USPs and the 1 rifle. That 1 rifle, though, the hero rifle, is able to sing for 1 frag.
Ooh, and that's information too, right? I mean, not even just the double players, but now they know that the 1 rifle that was saved or that's in the round, it's going to be back towards A, so they can use that time to get into this B site. Look at this. There we go. They're already into this. They're going to creep things out. They're going to expect the easy kill on the Swisher. This is a nice read, and Wildcard is just taking their time with it. I love this patience.
Yeah, but M80's managed to pick up a Galil here, so they're a little more potent. Not forgetting they only walked into this one with the 4 USPs and the hero rifle. JBA, Stan, should be able to take care of it. You think they will? They absolutely do. JBA with a 2K. Manx says, okay, well, bye guys. I'm going to save the Galil and get the heck out of Dodge. 3-3, all tied up.
Yeah, really good read coming in. Again, I love that M80. Again, are putting some good pressure onto the same main, but Wildcard, again, reacting really well. And like I said, I think it was really important that they knew that Mulbs did have that 1 rifle. So they took that, you know, picking up the pace a little bit more just to go towards B, realizing that, okay, the big threat is on the other side of the map. We might have some time here to clear up the site. And there we go. Back to the 3-3. And like we said, I mean, this isn't, on paper, this looks like an M80 map. I would say not like by a big margin, but a pretty decent one. But even right now, for a team like Wildcard, their T side is the better side on this. I mean, it is a 53.5 win percent rate on their T compared to their CT, where it's quite a bit lower with 46.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, look, for Wildcard, they don't have as many reps on Ancient. That's the one thing going against them, at least in terms of officials. I don't know how much they're scrimming it or how much they're practicing it on the side, but M80 is the one that has been playing it in much more officials than Wildcard has.
Yeah, it definitely makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It's a nice molly, though. Very interesting setup from M80. I mean, again, just still putting some good pressure here towards mid, just making sure nobody can get close on by. Player in mid cubby. Manx actually swings onto stand. Very interesting, and he's by himself. And look what they're doing here, John. They're just kind of going 1 by 1, and they're going to win these fights. I mean, one of them finally gets taken out, but they're able to find 2.
Yeah, Malps and Manx just kind of waiting in position and managing to get a couple of them outside of those B double doors. Now Wildcard have finally faded away from that fight, but the timing and the spacing was off. That was the problem for them. They will get the mid control that they were hoping for. But you have to imagine that M80 are saying, look, we've got the man advantage. We don't have to challenge that much. And now they've got the information. slaxz could be the linchpin here to all of their plans. Reck gets 1, and he gets the 2nd. The FAMAS is finally getting some frags here. Slight, last one standing.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where he's just kind of walking things out. I mean, he does have the smoke and flash, so he could try to go for the plant just to get some money here. Does have about 26 seconds to work with. It's not a lot, though.
He's got a smoke donut.
Yeah, he's got to. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. But I mean, Manx is close on by. Reck's close on by. Oh my goodness, he hears a noise cue. Might be able to find this timing. I don't know if he'll expect another one. Oh, he does. And he's actually able to win that too? Oh, no way.
He's making the plant! He gets the frag.
God.
Does he have time? He only has 3 seconds. Doesn't have time. He has to try and go for the frag. It's not going to come through. Oh my goodness, Slight. What an effort.
That was insane.
He was so close. I don't think he needs to fake that second attempt at the plant, but he wanted to get the frag, and I understand it. Damaging the economy is quite valuable, considering that M80 haven't been able to get that foundation in that regard at any point in this half. I just would have loved to see him get that plant, because it's very unlikely he would have been fragged due to the smoke that he threw for himself to try and get it down. Anyway, look, wild stuff again, falls just short, but in a way it's a victory in terms of damaging the economy. JBA along with Infinite are going to go for some early control of A main. M80 have 1 player here at slaxz who's been the most effective one so far here on Ancient.
And instead of the double push A, now they're just going to play a little bit different on this with the 2-1-2. Reck now, let it get open. Well, maybe. Just going with the Moss. It doesn't pan out well for him. slaxz. Yeah, a little bit of a blip of a reply. Now Manx in a really awkward position and does get some good damage, but oh my, could be Swisher able to find two. A nice little bit of a scoop up now. A 2v2, John.
Yeah. Look at in terms of the health too. M80 have the edge. Infinite. He's the one tucked in towards Catacombs. So that's going to be good in terms of positioning, because I don't know if M80 is going to necessarily expect that. I think they're aware of it, but either way, Stan's coming through. Likely going to have to take a fight with that P250 and loses it. Infinite, though, manages to get Swisher, even though he's only got 3 HP left. A chance, the range advantage against the MP9, but Mobs backs off. Surprisingly, he wants even more distance from Infinite. Infinite, 32 seconds left. Can he grab the bomb and run B? I think it's possible, or at least he can fake it. Then he goes for the fight and doesn't realize Mobs is towards CT and not behind that box. That's going to do it in Mobs. It just seems to be that player who goes for the BM all the time on M80.
Yeah, he just wants to get in their head, right? I mean,
it's fine.
Yeah, it's great. And I mean, that's the thing. Like we talked a lot about this today, but like you can see on the top right of the screen, I mean, this is, you know, two teams that go head to head. It's so close, like the slightest edge in terms of like the head-to-head history that Wildcard do have on this team, but it's not like it's been easy, right? Like all these games have been going to the wire, and even right now we can see that Wildcard, they're going to call this timeout. Their money's not great, but it kind of again sets them up for the following round. Like, what do we want to accomplish to see what, you know, what M80 is currently doing?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the history between these two teams, I think it's actually been Wildcard winning one time. That was in the Challenger Atlanta closed qualifier, and that was a 2-0 victory. And before then, it was the Forsaken Corps, which I don't really consider to be like the same team. Outside of that, though, it's been 3-map series the last 2 times that these two teams have played, and Wildcard's been on the winning end both times. So, I mean, certainly there's something going right for them, but when you're losing twice in such a close fashion when you're M80, well, I mean, you learn some things, right?
Really a little chip on the shoulder for sure. And actually, interestingly enough, they're actually putting a lot more pressure onto Catwalk now. So look at all the information that M80 is cleared up. They still have an inkling there could be somebody in B main, but even look at Manx. Oh, he didn't spot the head. I can't believe he didn't see Infinite. It might have been the X-ray just giving away. Look at that nade, though. That's nice and thick, and there we go. Slight down to 63, Jabba taking down all the way to 20. They are just wounding them right now, and they haven't even seen him yet. Wildcard haven't seen a single player.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be a spam, and a lot of damage. Ranks gets almost everyone. 4 frags for him. Stat in the pads? Padding the stats. There we go. Got it the right way around there. Only had 2 frags before that, but he's going to take it as the IGL, not usually the one to get all of that damage. It doesn't matter. M80 doubling up on the scoreline of Wildcard, and this is starting to trend the same way Vertigo did.
No, it really is. And I mean, it is kind of going down some similar paths a little bit, but I mean, again, last time it was a bit more of a brawl. M80 weren't able to get more than 5 rounds the last time these two went head to head. So they've already had a mission accomplished here a little bit. Wisher getting a little bit aggressive here, and look at him and Manx able to clean it up now. This is convincing. Look at this. I mean, they have just pinched Wildcard, and the only reply is taking down Mulbs. But look at how far these two players are. They're completely separated from each other, and the bomb? It's in the middle of the site.
Yep. This round is probably done. You said I think they had 9 rounds last time, right? Against Wildcard and Ancient. I think it was 6 on Anubis, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong too.
Yeah, it was not. It was a 13-9 that was for Wildcard, but I mean for M80 they were only able to get 5 rounds on their CT side. So
you're right. You're right.
So it like I'm already thinking they did a great job to kind of again correct those mistakes, if you want to call it that, or learning from what they did last time. So that
absolutely,
which is great to see.
I got you, Laz.
There we go. We're on the same chapter now, same wavelength.
Yes,
I like it.
44 seconds left on the clock. Sonic and Infinite, the last 2 standing. They don't have that bomb control, like you said. And I mean, at this point, what do you even do? No util, no bomb. Probably a save if you're looking at the economy for them as well.
Yeah, no reason for M80 even to put any pressure on
Oh,
this.
nope,
And
they're going.
oh wow,
They're going, lads.
ooh.
Hold on a second. slaxz spots them out. Nade's going to sail forward. 19 seconds on the clock, and now they fall back. It was just they picked up a piece of utility on the ground, like, hey, let's try throwing a flashbang. Maybe we'll be able to get a kill, and it doesn't happen. They say, okay, that's it. Bye.
Yeah, I mean they little bit of a tease, right? But they're like, nah, we're good. We actually don't want to do this. We just want to see the casters react, and we did. We fell for the bait, you know. So, but I mean, very impressive. Now a 7-3, and I mean the money situation. This is tough, John. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I mean, again, you have two players with the AKs. They could gleal up, and
You have to.
yeah, and I feel like at this kind of a scoreline, it makes sense. And
well,
yeah,
also not forgetting, right? Those two players that save don't get any loss bonus into this round. And then if you do decide to save with two AKs up, it just leaves you in another weird financial situation going into the next round. So, I mean, honestly, I think it's better to buy up here and just try for it and maybe get a fourth. So I like this.
I do too. Oh, actually, interesting. They're going to go for the Mac 10s. Yeah, so if they can find these duels, yeah, it's going to be a money grabber, and I like this too, and also allows them to get some extra utility.
We'll see though. M80 trying to go for another 9-3 half here and get a stranglehold on the decisive map number 3 here.
And the op is back out for slaxz. I feel like, I mean, maybe I'm getting a little bit, my eyes deceiving me, but I feel like we have not really got to see the big green at all on Ancient so far. It seems like he's been doing really well with the M4.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. He had it for, I think, one other round where he managed to get a couple of frags, but here we're probably going to see something good given the position he has around the edge of that smoke. It was popped briefly. Mangs, oh, could get caught out here. Manages to fade away right before Infant comes around the corner, but his teammate's gone, and so is he. 5v3 in favor of it. Excuse me, Wildcard, but M80 gets a couple of frags right on back. Reck and Swisher double teaming those two guys. It makes it a 3v3. Slight and Stanislaw in the meantime do gain the space onto this A site. Reck tossing the nade on forward. Slight finds Malbs. Back and forth we go as Wildcard want to get a fourth.
They're still persevering through this, and Slight gets caught, and look at that. Reck, he just walks through the smoke, and now he's able to find this, leaving it to the 2v2. Reck just posted up, waiting things out. This is a good angle. Do they clear it, though? Do they expect him to be here? They're going to double swing this for the information, and he still gets that 1-1. Oh my goodness. Somehow, in some way, it's down to Swisher versus Stan, and Swisher might be able to find his head, and he does.
Way. What a shame for Stan. I think he thought he was walking into the open site at that point, but instead it's Swisher waiting right in the perfect spot. And there's that 8th round. That is a heartbreaker for Wildcard because they had the first two and it was looking so incredible for them. And after that, Swisher, along with slaxz, I believe it was, come around the corner and deal 2 frags immediately afterwards and somehow regain composure in that round and balance things out. What a shame for Wildcard, but at the very least, that loss bonus does yield them another full-on buy here for Galil's and the AK. The only problem is, I said full-on buy, it's not the case for their util. Only 2 players have util in their hands.
Yeah, not a pretty position right now for Wildcard. So what on earth do we see? One player actually all the way in the end point here of a main, which is going to be Infinite, but the rest of them just kind of waiting things out in the back and still have the lurk here of Stan, just kind of, again, looking for any noise cues, getting util usage, that information. But look at Mulbs. He's already cleared things up. He's already in cubby. They got real estate.
Yeah, this is a lot of mid control for M80, not to mention 2 players are pushed down towards the double doors at B. Now they back off after that flashbang was thrown. Uh-oh, JBA finds one. slaxz connects, but only for a leg shot. Now he's got to get the follow-up, and he does. Swisher supporting so very well from lane. And Reck, well, he's not going to get cleared. Freebie, hello. Stanislaw, last one standing in a 4v1. This one is all but done, and there you have it. Another 9-3 half for M80 as we head to the final half of action in this series after this break. Well, it looks like M80 took offense to the way Wildcard won yesterday with a 13-9 on Ancient and 13-5 on Anubis after they took map number 1. This time, it's Wildcard taking map number 1 and M80 perhaps trying to do what Wildcard did to them yesterday. We'll see. Still a lot of Counter-Strike left to be played here. Infinite already onto that B side as we jump right into the pistol round.
Yeah, and already it's going to see these CTs. They're just going to swing, and they're actually going to find these openers, and these Glocks are just doing nothing at all. And JBA, he's just having a field day right now. Finally, Mank's able to get a bit of reply. I don't mind this, but Slight coming in right hot and heavy on the flank. Do they expect it, though? And, oh gosh, this is where Dooley's get a little scary. And there we go. Manx keeping it alive. 2 bullets. Ain't no thing. No util except for a flash, and doesn't matter about util because Wildcard, they got themselves a nice pistol.
All right, there you go. I mean, honestly, it felt like M80 were threatening really, really well at the beginning of the round. Just like you said, none of the Glock shots really connecting. Everything was missing. Maybe we were firing a little too aggressively, a little too quickly on the M80 side. And you saw a little more patience from Manx as he comes around the corner and manages to get a couple for his squad. But at that point, it wasn't enough with those dualies coming in on the flank from Slight. So Wildcard get off to a good start here in this second half, find themselves a 4th. M80 with that bomb plant, though, will in fact be able to get 3 Galils, a MAC-10, and a Deagle. And this is when you look at the buy-ups and say, who's got the better one? Who won the last round?
It's so true. I know. And I love that M80 are actually going for this instead of just doing a lighter buy. They actually just send it and spend all their coin on this, and they're going to try, because if they can find this conversion, this is just going to squash the money system in terms of Wildcard, because, again, both these teams just depleted the bank accounts. So now M80 had 3-2 split, waiting things back, really taking it slow. A lot more respect being in the server here, John. I mean, they've gone tooth and nail here.
Really a lot of patience coming through. No one pushing up on either side. M80 burning the first 45 seconds off the clock. They're leaning quite heavily towards the B side. And you see slaxz on the back lines. He is the one throwing the most utility from the team over the last month. He's got 0.93 flashes thrown, if I'm not mistaken.
Connected.
Here they come, though. Flashbang tossed.
Ooh, but they do make some noise, but it's not like they just rush for it. Again, now the mind games are still kind of happening. A good smoke getting placed here on B ramp. So it makes a question if M maybe want to swing out of this or not. They still have some flashes. That utility is still an option here. But Stanislaw, he actually gets shot right in the head, down to 9. He's close onto this, but that flash connects again. But Infinite, he's able to find 2 before he goes to the grave here. 3 on 2 now. Bomb's going to go down. Still with some good time remaining. And what do we see from Wildcard here, John? They have 1 piece of utility.
This is not going to be easy for them. That's a really good take and execute coming through from M80. They overloaded. Infinite, I thought maybe he'd be able to pull that one back. The third was just barely short of actually coming to fruition. And now Sonic coming through manages to get 1, but Reck and slaxz are right there to deny Wildcard. There is the 10th round, and that one really stings for Wildcard because they win the pistol. But because of that economy, because of the way things work, when you find that bomb plant, M80 has an equal or arguably better buy than Wildcard had going into that round, and the result is an M80 round victory.
Yeah, it's such a good point, John, because again, you know, like for a CT side, you have to win those first 2, right? I mean, it just, your money system has to get built up. If you win the first and lose that second, man, it just puts you in a bind.
Even more important is denying the bomb plant, because when you don't, that's when you get those crazy buys coming through from the T's in round number 2. And honestly, if there's one thing that needs to be looked at in terms of economy, not right now because the major's coming up, but after the major, is those second rounds for CTs, because you should be rewarded for winning. And a bomb plant shouldn't make that much of a difference in terms of the buy. You should still be stronger.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. No, it's such a good point.
It's one round, but yeah, it can make a difference.
It absolutely can. Because, I mean, the investment on this one is, it's not great. I mean, and look at their money. I mean, they put everything they could. 5 7s with that MP9. It's asking a lot right now. This is scraping the barrel. And it's a free site, too. Look at this. So that B site is wide open. Wildcard do go for the stack. I really like this. Again, it's a 50-50. You don't know what you can get here. But M80, they might overthink this, and they could run into that trap. And look at already now, Wildcard are going to go in towards Donut. Now they're going to creep towards mid. Oh, but this information from Mulbs could be good because he might get this intel of multiple players. And the bomb's finally making its way here, John, but Mulbs is still just taking down bodies, man. This is ruthless.
This also was a force buy for Wildcard, so, I mean, not getting a single frag, being completely on the outside looking in at this bomb site, and now, oh, Swisher sneaks through lane, drops JBA right to dirt, and Sonic is just hanging around. He's got something that's worth saving in the body armor and the 5.7, but you have to imagine that M80 might want to put in the final touch on this round, even though their money's a little bit tough. Oh, Swisher gets caught out. Mulbs almost saves him, but it is going to be one casualty for M80. Not going to be much because it's an easy buy up again. 11-4 lead. Wildcard are reeling. Nothing doing with the force buy. As a result, the economy in the dumps.
Oh, this is tough because now, I mean, like you said, the economy just being in the dumps. I mean, this is 11-4. You know, you lose this round, then you have to win out. And that is not an easy thing to do. And these teams, I mean, they've shown us a lot of interesting things, but that's a big ask in this kind of the stage where we're at right now, the qualifier. slaxz is maybe going to get a little bit overwhelmed, and actually some good bait and switch. Okay, that's a little weird, but it'll work. Oh, they're still pressing on this, John.
That's a bit of a panic smoke by Swisher, because I don't think the smoke does have much thrown in that position. But eventually the flashbang comes out. AK has been recovered, and again, this is kind of scary for M80. They need to get that bomb planted and get their feet planted themselves onto that A site. There's the bomb. Mank's gonna ferry it on over. Smoke thrown by Infinite, who has that AK, so that's the biggest piece right now for the Wildcard side. Oh, here comes the flank over main. Manx isn't watching for no one's watching A main. Sonic manages to go in. That's another AK picked up from Wildcard. They still haven't lost a body. Mulbs looking around from Donut. He's got the bomb in his sight. Flashbang comes through. They're all peeking him. And there's Infinite's AK striking true. M80, you can't lose this round.
No.
Can they hang on? No. Swisher, the last one, and he's nowhere near the bomb. They're going to stick to the defusal, and it doesn't even matter. Sonic with the headshot. That is a full-on eco again for the third time in this series. Wildcard pull it off, and perhaps that's the life they were looking for here on Ancient.
All right, John, I'm done. That's it for me. I'm going to pack this in. I think I'm over it. It's just, that was just too much for me. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, I was just mentioning, like, okay, on paper, you have nothing to work with. You have to win this out, and they win another USP round. They've done this twice now.
I don't get it. Like, that is where, if you're M80, it's the end. You need to get your 12th round and put all the pressure on Wildcard, and instead Wildcard, with an aggressive play, to their credit, it was nice, coming out of Cave and then going through Jaguar to find the first, but after that, you just have to regroup if you're M80 and make sure you get that stop. It was a bit of panic that kind of set in place, and Wildcard, realizing that M80 was panicked, continued the pressure forward, and I mean, the fact they had 2 frags, and I think even 3 before losing a body is insane.
It is insane. I mean, we recognize the score is still a huge gap, but you have to realize too, but losing a round like that can just squash the mental game here for M80. That is a dagger to the heart right there. And also gives Wildcard now a lot more fired up play because they have the op, they got some AKs, they're equipped here. So this means that they can, have that money kind of flowing in a little bit. And this is now giving up a round that they really should have won. So this is important for M80 to get themselves a little bit back in control of the ship, but man, oh man.
These anti-ecos are just, have been abysmal, honestly, for M80 at times. 3 times. You should not be losing the full USPs 3 times in any series ever. 1 time is already bad enough. So anyway, I love the M80 guys. I don't want to rag on them too much, but that was another tough pill for them to swallow at a point in the match where they should have been in control. It might not mean anything. We'll see. Stanislaw gets one onto Swisher. Mangs gets the immediate trade, and we have a 4v4, but the HP advantage lies in Wildcard's hands. have a bit of a pincer potentially here on this B site with one player coming from Cave. Infinite firing away, doing so much damage, and there it is! Sonic and JBA find
5
a
seconds.
couple. Manx and Mobs only have 5 seconds. You're absolutely right, Laz. And, well, even though they're going to get another frag, it doesn't matter. The bomb is lost. The round is as well, and that's a 6th for Wildcard.
Oh, this is why I made that comment. I'm like, yeah, the scoreline is huge, but M80 have now lost 2 rounds in a row. And now Wildcard do have the funds that they can get, you know, guns on the board. And look at M80. Look what they're working with. They got 1 AK in the AWP that were saved. And now they have to complement this. They have to work around this and coordinate together the protocols with the Deagles, a P250, and a tech. So this is not ideal. So now we have slaxz and mulbs. They have to be the difference makers. They're the ones that have to find some big kills and multi-frags quick. Oh, and it's a push in A main? You're kidding. Infinite now close on by with Slight. Slight is able to help him out, gets his back, and oh man, things are getting awkward and weird. That Tech 9 does get that retrade, but okay, they push it back a little bit. They're going to reset.
M80 needs one of these weird round victories now, it seems, to get themselves back into this one. I say back into it. A round victory gets them 12, and then they're on map and series point. But they could have been there, and in fact, should have been there already. JBA waiting towards the B site. M80 guessing wrong. The A site is the one that's more vulnerable at this point. Maybe they'll readjust themselves. There's still time on the clock.
Oh, he's biting on it.
Yeah. Someone's watching mid. That is Slight. So, oh my goodness, they saw him. He wasn't holding the best angle, and he has to back off. He is lucky, and probably thanking his lucky stars, that he's still alive and gets another crack at this one.
Yeah, this is important because he does know there's a player there. He does make that connection, so that's great. So now, hold up, let him cook a little bit. Now the M4 is starting to get the spam through the smoke. 2 on 4. These 2 players, with slaxz available with the AWP, Manx here with the AK, no more utility. They just need to hold this post plant down. Look at that spam. Even JBA takes Manx blindly through the smoke. Manx contemplating to go for a swing. He's spraying, but it's only 1. Now it's slaxz with the AWP to see what he can do. Smoked out. It's going to be a blind shot, a fake defuse. Oh my goodness. Now he's just hoping, praying for it. Oh, and it's just going to be a defuse, and Wildcard are still in this game.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. If M80 lose this map, they only have themselves to look at, truly. This was in their control. 4-round lead still, but look at the economy. It's another pistol buy-up coming through. Wildcard are really starting to find their groove. Couple of ops now, double op setup coming through. An AK to bolster their defense even further. I'm not feeling good if I'm M80. Not at all. I think a timeout would be a good thing to call. I think they should have called a timeout after that round and lost, to be honest, but they decided to continue playing forward.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, I think you just have to talk it over in the moment and say, okay, that sucked. It was awful, but we can come back into this one, and maybe that would have made a difference. But now Mob's just going to eat a nade. His head literally bangs back and hits the wall. And Infinite, along with Stanislaw, just taking care of business here.
Oh man, and Manx is just running. I mean, he does have time. He can get this plant through. So this will be good. Oh, it's going to be gross in there. Okay, at least he got his one job done. Shadow's going to give it away. An easy one for Infinite. I was a little bit nervous, I'll be honest, for the double op. Just with the pistols, I was thinking, okay, maybe they're going to get aggressive. They might get in their face with it. But they played that a very slow round. But look, I mean, at least they are climbing that money situation, that bomb plant like we talked about. Look at what they got now. I mean, we are seeing players pushing that $6,000 pretty much. So this is nice. So now they have a full buy.
I mean, yeah, even though they don't get any frags in that round, I think it is mission accomplished. You found the bomb plant and you're able to bolster your economy. That means a full buy comes through. Even the AWP is able to be purchased by slaxz, and 4 AKs around it with, as you mentioned, the full util. 3 rounds, though, are the only thing that separate these 2 teams, and from Wildcard getting a ridiculous comeback. Manx comes out and finds his doom immediately. Great to have the trade from Mobs. That was actually, again, at mid. But Infinite is right there to find the answer. 4v3 in favor of Wildcard in a critical round that could lead to a tie game if Wildcard are able to take it.
Man, and the double ops are still alive here for Wildcard too. And now you can see M80, they're kind of reevaluating the plan, grouped up in the back of B main. And double smoke with the double molly will be nice for an execute. 2 CTs in cave now. But Swisher is close on by. He might need to be the one that has to find this entry. Mollies do land, so slaxz actually caught here with the molly and the flashes. That's really good utility usage. Now this is a free plant.
Stanislaw could punish. They didn't clear cave. They didn't clear cave.
Oh, no.
Stanislaw, oh my goodness, just barely misses the frag on Swisher, but Infinite finds the finishing touch with the grenade. Infinite looking for more now. He's that second opper on the squad, taking his time, waiting for his teammate to come in to reinforce. Sonic, will he be expected from cave once more? I don't think so. Reck's not watching this. There it is. slaxz, the last one standing. Bomb taken away. Finds the shot. A critical one. Needs to win the battle with Infinite. Time ticking away on the bomb. Infinite realizing it. Goes for the stick. I think he has it unless slaxz is going to spam him down. He's fucking up and down, but he doesn't get the defusal. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that was that close. slaxz loses the op and his life, but the round is secured.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if there's a round to win for M80. Yeah, okay, sure. That's going to be it, I guess. And man, that was way too close for comfort. And you can even see they called a timeout. They realized that was just nuts. Like, that was chaos. And now they need to get themselves back in composure. They are on that map in series point, but my goodness, John, that is just not the most convincing way to win the round.
I thought he had it. I mean, that was like a millisecond away,
Yeah.
just ducking up and down, dodging bullets against the Glock, which is not the best pistol. I mean, far from the best pistol to have in that situation. And the AWP just wasn't cutting it for him. That was as close as it could possibly be. M80, credit to them. It was a tough post plant to hold, but they managed to do it. A Wildcard just barely lose that round. 4 opportunities now for M80 to close this one out and completely forget about that USP round that Wildcard got up against them. But, I mean, the buy-up's still better for Wildcard here.
And, I mean, speaking of buy-up, too, I mean, again, Wildcard are going to actually put that 6,600 on the board here for the double ops. So, Slight and Infinite are going to be the ones that are equipped with big greens here. I mean, it was working well. I didn't know if they'd want to keep that moving, just considering how this game could be going. But it's a lot of investment, but I'm not against it. And look at Stan. Oh, he's going to mix things up. These flashes could be critical, but if they can get the smoke on door, that'd be ideal. Just so he can get a better position. But Slight's actually going to be that bit of a switch, a bit of a fake. Oh, they might not expect Stan to be here. But he's in a tight spot here, John. He either has to commit to this or he has to fall back. Okay, this is the right call. Now he's just going to play it back, regroup with his teammates.
All right, M80. Man.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, I'm nervous for both teams, to be honest. This is crazy. 45 seconds left on the clock. Here comes that util barrage onto the B site. They are full on executing here, clearing the right spots. Manx through the smoke, takes down Stanislaw. JBA looking to punish. He sneaks into it. They don't see him. Sonic gets 2. Reck manages to respond to make it a 3v3. Sonic can't get away either. Swisher drops him. Infinite and Slate, the 2 oppers left standing. They want to try and deny the bomb plant. Slate saw Reck jumping over the top of that smoke, but he couldn't connect on the shot, and now is going for the reload. Molotov out, Reck stepping his toes into it far too long. 2v2. Wildcard, for their lives in this close qualifier, have to find a way to win this round. They're giving them the space, RM80. They could try to stick this one, but they don't have the smoke. Slight is in fact going to stick it. They don't realize it. They're spamming through. Finally, Swisher connects and Mobs does as well. Oh my goodness, these last 2 rounds were absolutely ridiculous, but M80 in dramatic fashion win it 13-8, and they are the ones that will face off against Liquid Laz. I cannot believe how close that ended up being.